Hey, what's up, you guys? I wanted to pop in here and talk about something that I really think just might be like a small missing piece. It's easy to overlook. It's usually the piece of success that gets pushed to the side in life, really. And honestly, I didn't even know about it until about 7 years ago. You know, I had never heard of this little small piece of success that actually might be like a huge foundational piece to success, however you define it. That's the cool thing in this business and in life. Like, it's your life. Like, you get to define success. You get to decide. You don't have to adhere to worldly definition. You get to decide what that is and then line up your actions accordingly so that you achieve that. I mean, we are the ones that have to live the life, right? You know, we're the ones that have to live our life. Therefore, we have to decide what life we want to live. So I imagine if you're in here and you're listening, there's a reason that you joined this business, whether it was for community or it was what most of us have, just this financial need. Doesn't have to be huge. I know those are the stories that we hear all the time, these huge stories where people got to leave their day job or their husband got to be retired or whatever, and then we're slowly programmed to think that, gosh, if I don't want that, then maybe this business isn't for me or something's wrong with me or whatever we start to take on as belief. But the truth of the matter is this business can be anything you want it to be. You know, anything that you want it to be. And honestly, when I first started, it was just $200 extra a month. You guys, I was a head group fitness instructor and working a lot of evenings. And we needed that money to make ends meet, to have any sort of wiggle room, right? And so I was missing the dinner table at night. You know, we were rushed at my favorite time of the day, which was the belly laughs at the dinner table that Griffin used to give us. And I was missing bedtime and story time and brushing the teeth, the things that we tend to take for granted when you don't have them anymore. You tend to miss them, right? And that's where I was at 7 years ago. Was I just wanted $200 extra. And you know, I wanted to remain the constant in my kids' lives with Chad's schedule so chaotic. And I didn't want to have to go get a job, you know, any extra jobs at Starbucks. I didn't want to have to take on more personal training clients. I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted something that was more flexible, right? And that's what this is. So I'm not really sure what your goals are. They can be as big or as small like mine were, or they can have the potential to grow, because once I saw that I had the ability to create that, I was like, man, I wonder if I can pay off some of this debt that is strangling us. You guys get what I'm saying? And so it started to grow. I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves thinking that we should have this all figured out. But what I do know is from 7 years of studying this and studying this business and studying success and studying belief and studying leadership, is that everything does rise and fall on our beliefs. Everything. I mean, everything. Everything rises and falls on belief. Our marriage will rise and fall on belief. Right? Our relationship with our kids, how well we do at our day job. I mean, if you believe that you're making an impact, that you believe that you can excel and touch lives and be the light at your day job, you will act completely different if all you think of it is as a paycheck and that your boss owes you something, right? Because at least you showed up at work. What you believe controls your actions, right? There are studies on that this is what matters. Everything rises and falls on belief, right? So if you change your mind, then we change our life, right? So then everything has to start here, whether it's succeeding in your marriage or succeeding, you know, in this business, or succeeding in your fitness journey, your wellness, feeling comfortable in your skin again. It all starts right here, right here. in our mind. And this is what I think might be tripping some of us up. Whether you're a new coach, right? You just stepped into this and you're kind of nervous, but just something's like your spirit inside of you is like, man, step into this tap. This could help you with some wiggle room. This could help you with Christmas or birthdays or maybe a vacation you've never been able to go on, or paying off some debt, or paying off the student loans that have been driving you crazy, or whatever, or buy a car because you only have one, or whatever it is. There's something that caused you to step into. It's like this could be the answer. I could do this in my pajamas. I could do this at 5 a.m. instead of having to leave the house. I can still be here to greet my kids when they wake up, or I can do it next to my husband at night while he watches his shows. I can do this. I can help add value to my family without having to leave the house. That was what I thought. So when you believe that, well, you step into it, right? But there was something else that I started to realize. That there are some ingrained things that I was dealing with when I stepped into some things in my belief system that was holding me back. That's when I started to really realize everything rises and falls on what I think, not what you think. I could say things all day long to you, but until you start to internalize it, until you start to create new tracks in your mind. You guys, I have taught on this so many times. The limbic part, this is scientific. This is not theory. Right? So the limbic part of your brain that houses emotion and feelings also houses decision making. I mean, the decision whether to get out of your bed. The decision whether to reach over and grab your phone or reach over and grab your spouse. The decision whether to go to Target and blow $100 or drive right past Target. Like, all of that is on belief. If you believe that shirt is going to make you feel better, or that white chocolate mocha is going to make you feel better, or whatever, if you believe that, you will find yourself in the Starbucks line. Like I used to. 10 years ago, 8, right up until about 7, when I started to realize I have to change what I believe about happiness, what I believe about myself, what I believe about success, what I believe about the value I have to add, right? Because we are programmed from a very small age. We are. How do you think, look all around you. We have people with so many different beliefs, and they are willing to fight. I mean, these belief systems are so strong that they rather be right than have restoration. And that is deep. From a very young age, we are programmed, so to speak, by what our parents speak over top of us, what shows we watch, what music we listen to, what we read. For years, I had every fitness subscription magazine. Every one. For years. So long as I can remember, in high school. Oxygen, Glamour was in our house. People magazine. No, that's not a fitness magazine, I get it. But do you see what I'm saying? I had Shape magazine, Fitness magazine. I had every one. And this is what I read all the time when I took a bath, when I had free time. That's what I thought I was supposed to look like, you guys. And I didn't look like that. Something must be wrong with me. So I'm going to keep pushing and changing and trying all these new fads and this no carb, this high carb, this low. You know what I mean? I was doing, take this pill, take hydroxy. Because that was my belief. I believed that that's what health looked like. I believe that's what good looked like. Because that's what I focused on. And I remember when I had that aha moment, what you focus on is what you get more of. What you surround yourself by is what you will become. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. All those things I started to have these big aha moments. I had to change my belief system. Change your mind, change your life. Change your mind, change your life, right? Because again, this part of your brain, the limbic part of the brain that houses feeling and emotion, also houses decision making. Does that make sense? So if I believed in those magazines, that's what health looked like, that would control my decisions. Extreme things, extreme workouts, extreme deprivation, extreme restrictions until I snapped. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It controlled my actions. And that's what, and we're human. You're human. But here's the cool thing about the brain is it can be reprogrammed. There is research around that. This is science. How exciting is that? That where you're at right now, what you believe about yourself right now, what you believe about success, that can all be changed if you wanted to. So this is why I think sometimes this is the piece of the puzzle that's missing for new coaches, for seasoned coaches, for veteran coaches. Even if you were to decide not to run the business, this whole belief thing would continue to follow you no matter what. Because this is what controls everything. What's up here will come out of our mouth. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Whatever comes out of your mouth, your feet will follow. Right? You can't speak something and do something opposite, and you can't speak something you don't believe. Right? So it all tells me when people are like, what do I do? Like, I'm so frustrated. We have to start here. We have to become very serious about this. What we surround ourselves by, what we listen to. Right? And if we really want change, we have to change this. So how did I do that? Because 7 years ago, when I started to realize, like, I don't want to repeat generations of what we got going. I don't want to repeat it. You know what I mean? I don't want to live on credit cards. I don't want to fight about finances. I want to be happy. I want to like my job. I don't want Sundays to come around and the whole house to suffer. You know, I don't want to look in the mirror every time and frown at myself. I don't want to pass that on to my daughter. I don't want to dodge pictures. I don't want to not get in a bathing suit when my kids are playing in the pool. I don't want to rush out of the pool to wrap up as fast as I can because I don't feel good about me. I don't want to repeat these things. Right? But I felt like I was stuck in this cycle. And the only way to get out of this loop is to change your habits. It's the only way to change your belief system, right? So 7 years ago when I started to realize this, right? Because success leaves clues. So I was listening to I was hungry. That's the first thing. If you want change, you have to be hungry for it. You have to be coachable. You have to watch people that have what you want. And you got to be careful with that. You have to make sure they really do have what you want. Because nowadays with social media, they can make it look like they have what you want. And then you get too far in and you're like, damn, they got nothing that I want. Right? So we got to be very careful, but you got to find those people that have what you want. Those wise counsel, trusted advisors, and you have to follow them. Right? You have to be coachable. Not that you have to be one-on-one with them, but you have to be willing to put it into action, what they're saying. And that's where I was 7 years ago. I'd hit my pain point. Sometimes when we're not ready to change, I just don't think, because I've been that person, I just wasn't ready. You know what I mean? I hadn't hit pain enough. I hadn't got to that fork in the road. Right? Where it was like, look, like I hadn't looked yet into my life. I hadn't paused long enough. Life was so noisy. I hadn't yet took a step back and said, if I keep doing what I'm doing, where will I be in 5 years, 10, 20, oh crap, 30 years? You see, generations start to repeat themselves and you start to go, crap. And it's when you get to that point that you're willing to do some of the hard things. Right? And to kind of be different. And to sometimes get made fun of a little bit because your car is fueled by personal development, not just, gas. Right? You're not playing your kids, DVDs on it all the time anymore. You're playing, Chalene Johnson in the car. Right? You have to get to that point where you're willing to make changes that are uncomfortable. And that's where I was 7 years ago. And it started so simple because 7 years ago, I hated to read. So don't tell me that I don't like to read somewhere. I get it. I didn't either. I was made fun of growing up. I was in the special classes for reading. I had to read a page like 5 times before I understood it. I get it. Right? But I didn't allow that to become an excuse. So I heard Tommy Migrant say again, success leaves clues. Tommy Migrant's a fighter. I love how he speaks. He is a broken individual like we all are. Human is what it is. You know what I mean? And so none of us are perfect. We aren't to be worshipped. But he was someone that I was like, you can just tell. That is genuine. That's genuine. I can follow that. Right? And he said, listen to YouTube every morning. Every morning, fill your head with YouTube. Go on YouTube, type motivational videos. They will pop up. Just listen. Don't overthink it. Just start listening. And that's where I started. I started focusing. Instead, I threw all of my fitness magazines away. I canceled all of my subscriptions. And I started focusing on something completely different. And life started to change. But it's not quick like this society teaches nowadays. It's not a microwave. It doesn't change overnight, and nobody else changes with you. See, we start to think, well, he, well, she, well, they, instead of just saying, control what I can control. Just like I was having a conversation with my kids this morning. You can't control anybody else except for yourself and how I could control what I did in the morning. Couldn't control what Chad did. I couldn't control what my kids did. I controlled me. I control what my focus is. I can control whether I pick up my phone and open Facebook or if I touch Chad in the morning first. I can control that. Nobody else. That is a decision, and I have control over that. Right? So we have to start somewhere, and we have to have a long term. I'm not saying like the short term is thinking like this is like this month or something like this. Like I'm saying this, change your belief system, change your mind, change your life. I mean, break generational curses. I mean, change your trajectory over the next 30, 40, 50 years. I mean, change the trajectory of people you will never meet. Your grandkids, your great-grandkids, your great-great-grandkids. That's what I'm talking. I'm talking that kind of effect comes from this. But it starts with us. Right? And you slowly start to develop a new mindset. Over time. It's not something like when people are like, well, when did it shift for you? It's not like that. It's like saying like, when in P90X did you lose all your weight? What day was it? And it's like, it doesn't just drop off. Didn't just disappear in one workout. You know what I mean? And when I did hammer and chisel, nothing happened in the first month. The first 6 weeks. Nothing. Really? And we're looking for this instant gratification. When you don't get it, we jump. Must not be that book. Must not be that mentor. Must need a different diet. Must need a different workout. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're ready. Except for if you watch people that do 21-day fix and had massive results. They did it 5 times. The massive results that Tommy Migrant had with P90X, he did P90X for a year. A year! In the first workout he didn't make it through the warm-up. But we think it has to happen overnight. That's a belief system. We are programmed that way. Studies show that our attention span is lower than a goldfish. I mean, I chuckled when I read that, and then I had to double reference it. I was like, no way. It's true. Because of social media, because of instant gratification, because now we can text someone, we expect a response like that, we can inbox someone like that, we're stuck in traffic, we pull our phone, we look at Facebook, instant gratification, instant, we don't have to think, we don't have to do anything, boom, right now. And it's programmed us to think that things happen like that. But a new mindset, a legacy, doesn't happen in a microwave. It happens in a crock pot. It happens in a crock pot. Listen, you guys. What you surround yourself by matters in life. Okay? This isn't something I just made up. This is like success legends. Like, and I don't mean success like millionaires. I mean success legends, like people that have peace and influence. What is influence? Time plus consistency plus character. Right? And what's character? When I was 19, I stared at this sign for 12 weeks, however long I was at basic training in the Army, and it said character, what you do when no one else is looking. But we are human, and we are geared towards instant gratification, especially in this society, right? But to have influence, which is what you want in this business, so many people are like, no one's saying yes to me. Everybody's telling me no. They have these objections. I get it. I had them at first too. You want to know why? Because I didn't have influence yet. Not yet. Because I had to work on me. So if you want long, sustainable success, not manipulation, like success, like really like success, like where you're leading people to a better place, which is what I hope you're trying to build in this business. It takes character, right? And I don't know about you, but 7 years ago, a little bit of hothead. Sometimes was more concerned about being right than repairing anything. Ready to argue, ready to be right. Grew up that way. I had some reprogramming to do. I had some work to do on myself. But I'll tell you what, the biggest gift that has come from it, and it has nothing to do with what's in my bank account, everything that is right here. The peace that comes from that. But I'm telling you, in the process, if you stick with it long enough, the zeros will end up on the end of your paycheck. It's kind of cool how that works. And so I think this part is missing. And if you're a new coach listening to this, you get to start out with the best piece, the piece of the secret piece ever. Like, what's the secret? What's the secret? What's the secret? What's the secret? You got it right here. Your belief system. Everything rises and falls on belief. So start coming up with a routine where you reprogram yourself. Instead of looking at, I don't know what you look at, People Magazine, Glamour. I don't know what you listen to. Listen to the words that you're listening to on the radio. What are you listening to? Right? Start changing those things. Instead, I don't know, turn on the recipe. This is all part of the recipe. 7 years of messing up, screwing up, learning, failing forward, falling down, standing back up, learning from people, teaching, tweaking, all wrapped up in the recipe. If you go into the top header, it's called Coach Essentials, and it'll say the recipe, right? For you to find success financially in this business. But it won't just be financially. It'll be like all of these principles to succeed in business. It's just about relationships. It's just about true, genuine relationships. You know what it means to succeed in marriage? What it's about? True, genuine relationships. I was down here working out with Chad, and I'm always thinking, I said, you know what, Chad? Like, no one ever got in marital problems always thinking about the other person. Okay, so what does that mean? Think about this business. If you help enough people reach their goals, you will reach yours. Enough people reach their goals, therefore we have to know their goals. We have to genuinely want to help them reach their goals, even if it's with a resource we don't have yet. It might be a personal development video that you read that you can pass on. If you help enough people reach their goals, you will reach yours. Right? But we live in a me society. Look at social media. Me. Check out my selfie. Far selfie. Mirror selfie. Tilted selfie. Do you see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Look at me. Now we have stories. Like, you can make stories of your whole entire life and pull people in and I always tell people, don't miss living your life watching somebody else's. It's what we live in. We live in this me society. I always tell Chad, look at what everybody else is doing. Do the opposite. Do the opposite. Everybody's doing me. Create a we exact environment. And Griffin thinks that's so funny when I say that. But do the opposite, right? And so listen, you guys, I'm going to ask you to take this piece of advice so seriously. New coaches, veteran coaches, middle of the road coaches, coming back in coaches, wherever you're at in this business, you have to work on your belief. You have to be so serious about what goes in here, because this is what guides everything. Everything rises and falls on belief. Your marriage will rise and fall on belief. If you think that sex improves in marriage, you will do it. If you think that is worth giving to your spouse because that's his love language, and you want to serve him in his love language, even when you're tired, I've lived it. You do it anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? If you believe that one-on-one time with your kids is valuable, you'll do it. If you think that your phone doesn't affect anything, and then you'll be on it all the time. Like, what you believe is what you conceive. For real. If you believe that this this business can help with wiggle room for Christmas or birthdays coming up, you will show up every morning if that's worth fighting. If you believe that this is the answer, I've lived it. When I started to believe it was the answer, I showed up. Even when people were telling me no, I got told no 100 times before someone said yes. And people come to me and they're like, no one's saying yes. How many did you invite? Like 8. I'm like, okay, you got 92 more to go. You know what I mean? But I believed in it. I started to change my mindset. I started to surround myself by different people. Right? Because you're the average of the 5 people that you're around the most. Check it out. Write those names down. Write the names of the 5 people that you spend the most time around. And then ask yourself, do you want to be the average of them? This is a serious question. This is not judgment. You have got to be aware. It has nothing to do with judgment, everything to do with taking control of your life and where you end up and understanding how that works and how belief works and how words are seed and all of those kind of things. So write it down. The 5 people you're around the most, right? And I get people all the time like, well, it's my spouse and I'm around him the most. He's super negative. Like he believes this. All he does is play video games. Okay, well, I'm not advocating for divorce. So what do? We put ourselves around other people that are moving in a positive direction, because you know how you create belief in someone is by setting the example, helping them get small victories, and surrounding them by other people that are moving in a positive direction. So first, you have to surround yourself by other people. Then you have to set the example for him even when he's not doing anything, or her. Lived it. Y'all, I have lived this for so many years. So anything that you have to say, I've lived through the last 5 years of a husband that came back from deployment failure to adjust. And our marriage is thriving. I know that this works. This is my belief system. There's no one that can say that doesn't work. I lived it. I lived the hardest 18 months of my life and was over the last 18 months and still able to have contentment and happiness because of this, what I allow myself to be surrounded by, and what I fuel my brain with. So listen, let me prove this to you real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys go. I mean, this is foundational. Like right here, like if you write this down, become wise by walking with the wise, hang with the fools, and watch life fall to pieces. That's a foundational truth. I'm going to say it again. Become wise by walking with the wise, hang with the fools, and watch life fall to pieces. Man, I don't want to fall to pieces. I don't want my kids' lifestyle fall to pieces. So I gotta watch who I'm around. I gotta walk with the wise. So I prayed a lot. Help me know who the wise are. Lord, put them in my path. Thank God I ended up on Tracy Morrow's downline. Doug Fitzgerald. Wow. And I had the eyes to see the value in that. So listen, you guys, I'm going to prove to you guys in a second how much it matters who you surround yourself by, okay? And then I'm going to let you guys go, and then you get to decide whether you believe that this is worth your while. I can't convince you, and it's not my job to convince you. All I can say is success leaves clues. This worked for me. I don't know everything. Don't put me on a pedestal. I'm a human person just like you. I mess up. I have tripped and fell all the way to here. But all I can do is tell you what has helped me. And if you're willing to try it, I think that it will help you. But you have to decide that. Only you can decide if you restructure your mornings earlier. Only you can decide if you pick up some of the things that you've been listening to and reading and you discard them. Only you can decide if maybe for a while you have to keep boundaries around some relationships like I had to. 6 years ago, when Shalene taught me with Car Smart. See, I started surrounding myself by different people. Sometimes it was just in my car. Shalene Johnson was one of them. She taught me how to remove toxic people. The way Summer wanted to remove toxic people was get up in their face and like, hey, you're toxic. Get the hell out of my life. That's the way that the Summer back then wanted to do it. Like, I just wanted to be like, ugh! Like, you know what I mean? But Shalene taught me, like, that ain't gonna do nobody any good, including yourself. Right? And so what I do, just calmly just stop answering the texts. Don't answer every phone call, right? Just say no thank you. When someone asks you to do something, I thank you so much for inviting me to do that. I love and appreciate that you trust me with that, but that wouldn't be honoring my family or myself or you right now if I were to step into that. She taught me all of those things because I decided to start filling my brain with something other than fitness magazine. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So let me prove it to you, and then I'm going to let you guys go how much it matters who you surround yourself by. Let's just say, because this is what you're doing in this business, okay? You're learning. Some of you guys think of yourself like a newborn, okay? You're a newborn. You're nothing more than a newborn, so don't expect anything else out of yourself, right? So when your child, if you have a child, or you have a niece or a nephew, or I'm sure you've seen babies before, that you would not walk up to a newborn and be like, what the hell? All I can do is raise their neck? Are you kidding me? Why is it so bobbly like that? How long? I mean, this is ridiculous. You wouldn't. Why do you do that to yourself? Why do some of you guys do that to your new coaches? They are babies in the business. And that is an important piece of the process. That's not an insult. When we start to realize that and release ourselves of that pressure and our team of that pressure, you find peace, right? So think of yourself as a baby coach. I'm a baby. I just was birthed. That's so exciting. When you have a new baby, new life, right? You're a baby coach. New life, new financial life, new purpose-driven life, new people to surround yourself by. It's amazing, but it's a process until you can run a marathon, right? You would never expect a newborn to run a marathon right out of the womb, right? Okay, so that is such an important piece of the process, right? Tummy time is what we do with our newborns, right? And we do it for just a little while, just until they're a little uncomfortable. We let them even fuss a little. They even say that is good for them. You know, if we rush to our newborn every time they fuss and there's never any struggle, what happens? There's studies on this. Developmental delay, right? Always needing to be held so the self-soothing can become an issue. There's all, if you read on this, like really read on it, it's all an important piece of the process of a newborn, right? I'm not advocating that you leave the newborn there for 2 hours and let them scream their head off, but 5 minutes of grunting and is actually beneficial. Right? So you're a newborn. So the stretching and the grunting is all necessary. Why? Why? Because when you start to crawl, you're going to need this neck. If it hangs like this, you will tip forward. Think about that. If your neck never got strong, but you started to crawl and your neck hung, your head is heavy, like a bowling ball. What would happen to that baby? Fall on your face every single time. Every single time, right? So that grunting and is all strengthening for a purpose. So you with the script and trying to learn the business and how does this placement thing work and how do I find people, how do this relationship, that's all strengthening your neck so that you can start to crawl. Did you know crawling? I was talking to my doctor, he's a chiropractor, Dr. B, he's amazing, look him up. Maximize Living, incredible, okay? But that was just a little blurb about him. But we were talking about yesterday about how important crawling is to the walking process, and later sometimes won't show up until you're adult. So walking too early can actually hinder some things later on as an adult. And I thought about that because this is how my mind works. Everything's an analogy in my mind. I'm thinking like, I wonder if some people ran too fast in this business and later on got burnt out because it went too fast, because some things weren't strengthened to be able to withstand what was the struggles that were going to happen later, right? Right? Okay, so think about it. So learning to crawl, like that your business is it's not, listen, you guys, if I said, you know what, I'm resigning, who wants my business? It's free. I'm telling you, you wouldn't want it. You wouldn't want it. You haven't strengthened your core, your quads, your glutes, all the things that happen, everything that happens to your core when you learn to crawl, that strengthen so you can hold yourself up. So when you go to stand up, you can do this, right? And your head's not like this because you never strengthened your neck. Like all of that stuff is vital. This crawling in the business is vital. All right? Because then you're going to stand up. You know what I mean? And all of this is vital too. Think about our toddler. toddlers. It's vital. It strengthens their glutes, their quads, their hamstrings, the stability muscles around their knees, their ankles, all of that, their core. All of that is so important for them to take that step. And then they fall. And what do we do when they fall? They giggle, and we grab our phone, and we're like, yeah, they took a step. You're taking pictures of them. You're texting everybody. You're posting on Facebook. You're like, he took a step. He took a step. You're so excited, right? However, when you take a first step, what do you say to yourself? I should have done, it should have been bigger. I should have hit Success Club 5. I only hit Success Club 1. Or all I sold is an Energize. Can you imagine if when your kid took a step and fell, you're like, seriously? Dude, is that all? Can you imagine? That sounds asinine. But we do that to ourselves. Think about this. This is what this is where I'm gonna bring home about who you surround yourself with. Imagine you had someone in your house and your baby was learning how to walk. 12 months old. Learning how to walk, takes a few steps and falls. And then you see their eyes light up. They're gonna go from the ottoman to the shiny silverware in the dishwasher, right? That you're doing. And you have a friend over. And your baby starts to go, right? It's all wobbly and falls and doesn't make it. Can you imagine if your friend walked over to the baby and was like, are you freaking kidding me? Dude, he's over 12 months old. Can he seriously not walk that far yet? What the hell is wrong with him? I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't even know, what are you doing as a mom? Are you even working with him? Does he even are you feeding him right? What are you feeding him? Macaroni and cheese all the time? You suck as a mom, and that child is doomed. What would you say if someone did that? You would say, get the hell out of my house. I would. I don't know any mom that would be like, yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't even know if he's mine, if I'm being honest. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with him. Maybe I'll go get him tested for what's wrong with him. No, you did get out. The baby would be screaming, being yelled at like that over top. Yet we surround ourselves by people that do that to us all the time. Sometimes it's us that do it to ourselves. We allow ourselves to stay surrounded by people that do that to us every single time. You're running a business. You're a baby in the business. You just started. You're going to fall a few times. Do you know what we should do when we fall? We should celebrate the one step that we took and giggle. We should take lessons from our toddlers. Giggle. Grab the phone. Text your friend. Hey, I just had a really good conversation with someone. This is fun. Not this one. This is the other one that I hear people say. Oh my God, I spent 30 minutes talking to this person and they didn't even buy from me. And then they told me that they just disappeared. And I bet they don't even like me. Maybe this business isn't for me. I suck. I'm not good at this. No one likes me. What the hell? Really? All of that. You want to know where that comes from? Me society. Which is belief. See, I believe, and I was taught, that if I help enough people reach their goals, I'll reach mine. I was taught that this is going to take time. I was taught that it's a failure equation. That if I fail my mentor by 90%, Janelle Summers, that I would still be better off than I was where I was at, $100,000 in debt. See, I believed that I was going to fail before I got to a place where I could crawl, and I'd fail some more while I was crawling, and then I would get to a place where I could walk, and I would fall a couple more times, and then I'd get to a place where I could run, and I still wouldn't be the fastest one running the 5Ks, but I would finish. That's what I believed. I believed that I just had to keep going, putting one foot in front of the other. I took ejection off the table. I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep my feet moving. That's how I finished all my half marathons. I wasn't first. I wasn't keeping track of my time. And I wasn't trying to beat my last time. I was trying to finish, cross over, and not stop. Well, I didn't care if it looked like this. Just don't stop. That's what I was taught. in the last 7 years. And that's why I'm where I'm at. So listen, that all started right here for me 7 years ago. That all started right here for me 7 years ago. We have to pay attention to who we surround ourselves by. We have to give ourselves permission to be surrounded by people that lift us up. We have to give ourselves permission to celebrate the one step and then falling on our butt. We have to give ourselves permission to be the baby business builder. We have to give ourselves permission to progress. We have to give ourselves permission to fail so we can strengthen along the way so that we can have the influence that we all need to be the light to change the trend and end the trend of obesity. Isn't that what we're after? We're after building a purpose-driven business that ends the trend of obesity, that makes an impact the way it did in our life. That means we're going to have to fall a few times. Why? Because it's vital to the process. It's vital, and everybody does it at different stages. Listen to me. My son started walking at the end of his 9th month. My daughter wasn't even crawling by 12 months. She didn't walk till 14. Does that mean, you know what? She's probably some invalid. I don't even know if she should try to walk. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should just carry her around everywhere she goes. Maybe she should just quit. I don't know. I just kind of gave up on her. You see what I'm saying? Does that mean she's not as athletically gifted as Griffin? I don't know. Maybe she shouldn't be playing any sports. We should put Griffin in all. Maybe she's more the artistic type. And when Riley tells me she wants to play soccer, would I be like, I don't know, you really? I mean, you didn't even crawl until you were 12 months old. Or after. And then not walk until, I don't know if that's really your bag, girlfriend. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But we do that to ourselves. We do that to ourselves. So, if you're a new coach, I love that you're listening to this because you have a foundation to build on. If you're a veteran coach, it's time to change your thinking. If you're I don't know what kind of coach I am, if you don't focus on this, any definition of success that you come up with will be a struggle because there are people fighting for your mind. There are. The advertisers are fighting for your mind. They're trying to sell you something. Look on Facebook. Buy this program. I'll teach you how to get more people in your funnel. Why? You don't know how to talk to people? Why? Because they're playing off of our desire to do it faster, quicker, have more of them, do less work, right? They're playing on all of our recent programming. And if you're not aware of it, kind of sucks. No matter where you're at, whatever you're doing, whether you decide I don't want to do this business, guess what? This tip that you learned right here is going to follow you everywhere. It'll follow your kids everywhere. It'll follow your marriage everywhere. It'll follow your finances everywhere. Everything rises and falls on belief. And until we start to fix that, we can't move forward. You can't make any changes in your life without changing your belief system. You can't change your fitness. You can't change your finances. You can't change your marriage. You can't change this business until you change this. And so why wouldn't this be the number one thing that we do and protect every single day? Why would we continue to surround ourselves by people that aren't cheering us on? You are fearfully and wonderfully made. He said it was good. So you're good. You're good. You're good. Look in my eyes. You're good. There's nothing you can do to prove or to take that away. You are good. Who you surround yourself by can start to tell you different. What you program yourself with, what you allow into your mind, that's where we're starting to get into problems. So if you're going to build this business, if you're going to make any impact, whether it's from making $200 so that you can have a stress-free Christmas or birthday parties, or you want to make enough to pay off $100,000 worth of income, or you work a couple part-time jobs your spouse does and you want them to be home at night, or you want to be at whatever the goal is, this has to be a focus. You guys, everything rises and falls on belief. It's why you see me. I am human and flawed and broken. and easy to sway and get in my head sometimes. It's why you will see me at a DC retreat, or a retreat that our team's doing, or a Chalene Johnson event, or out to dinner with some people on our team. Why? Because who you surround yourself by matters. It was not until my belief did not truly start to click until I made a sacrifice to drive up and I heard Tommy Migrant, Janelle Summers, and Tracy Morrow speak. And then I went on a Success Club trip where I heard Janelle speak, and who I was surrounded by, I was like, my eyes were opened. I was like, why not me? It was in Atlantis where I had an aha moment. I was standing there and I was like, listening to Janelle speak and hearing about her struggle. She's human. I had my why not me moment. I would have never had that if I would have never left my house. If I never would have made an effort to get surrounded by different people. So you guys, that's my biggest tip for you today, is to watch who you're surrounding yourself by and watch what you're programming yourself with. It won't change overnight. I know our society tries to trick us into believing there's some quick fix. Take this pill, try this one, remove this food, do this, do that, try this workout, this is quicker, wrap your body with this, try this thing that puts your body into ketosis, pee on this to make sure you're into keto. I mean, there's all kinds of things that I know. They all make a quick buck off of it. It's awesome. It's awesome. But until your belief changes, nothing will change. Nothing. So if you don't take anything else from this team, it's this. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, but you have to actively guard your heart. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.